Hey guys, I have started doing some experiments in PTE again, and this time this experiment is about repeat sentence, which is one of the most troubling questions for many of you. If you want to find out what actually happened in this experiment, please keep watching. Do you know that tomato is actually a fruit? But would you put it in fruit salad? Knowing that tomato is a fruit is knowledge, but not putting it in fruit salad is wisdom. Many people can tell you what to do in the exam based on their knowledge, but what matters in this exam is the wisdom, and wisdom comes from the experience or from the experiments. That's why whenever I tell you something, I first do the experiment myself, I collect the evidence, then I tell you what you should do or should not do. Yes, it's true that in PTE there are a lot of shortcomings of the algorithm, and the algorithm falls short in many areas, but that doesn't mean that you can do anything and expect to get the score. You have to do the right thing, and those right things you can learn only after doing certain experiments yourself. So this time, as before, I'm again going to do an experiment about repeat sentence. If you are interested in finding out what happened in the experiment and what are the take-home messages from this experiment, keep watching. So I did a score test A, and in this test I attempted speaking and writing. I did all the questions of speaking, but I'll only be focusing on repeat sentence. Please note the mistakes I made in repeat sentence so that later when we get the score we can compare that with my score.
It is quite clear that rising prosperity does not make people feel more content.
It is quite clear that rising prosperity does not make people content.
This course will examine some of the profound ethical dilemmas.
This course will examine some of the profound ethical dilemmas.
Fees are heavily discounted and bursaries are available for delegates.
Fees and discounts are available for the delegates.
Students are held accountable for adhering to established community standards.
Students are held accountable for adhering to established community standards.
This article covers the who, where and when of the conflict.
This article covers the who, and who of the conflict.
Essays should be typed with double spacing on white paper.
Essays should be typed with typing paper.
The medical centre is located near the supermarket on North Street.
The medical center is located in the center.
The mismatch between the intended and reported uses of the instrument becomes clear.
The mismatch between the reported and intended use of the instrument becomes clear.
New York City is famous for its ethnic diversity.
New York City is famous for its ethnic diversity.
A periodical is a publication that is issued regularly.
A periodical is a publication that is issued regularly. After finishing the repeat sentence, I continued the test by doing describe image, retell lecture, answer short questions, and then summarize written text and essay writing questions as well. In all of these questions, I used different kinds of tricks and experimented with different ideas. I will be explaining all of this in my upcoming videos. If you don't want to miss those videos, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. Okay, so you have now seen my whole experiment, and you perhaps also noted that in some of the questions I could not repeat the exact sentence, and the order of the words in the sentence were also not correct. But most of the times 50% of my content was similar to the actual content, and this is what I have been telling you all the time. If more than 50% of your content matches with the content of the actual recording, then in that case the only other two factors which can affect your score are your fluency and your pronunciation. So if you have noted, I have tried to copy the intonation, rhythm and stress pattern of the speaker as much as possible in that short time. And because of that, you can see that my pronunciation score and my fluency score both are 90. Now, one thing you need to remember here is I have not shown you how I have done read aloud and how I have done the other questions of speaking, because for them we'll do separate videos. In this video, our focus is repeat sentence. So in repeat sentence, few problems that we often face are we can't remember the full sentence, we sometimes mess up with the order of the ideas in the sentence, and because of that in the exam we panic and perhaps we cannot do the rest of the sentences that well. But from this experiment you have seen yourself that in repeat sentence, as long as you can remember more than 50% of the sentence and roughly you can repeat that sentence in the same intonation pattern and rhythm pattern of the speaker, you get full score. And that's something important for you to keep in mind. So next time when you go to the exam, don't get too much worried about not being able to remember the sentence, but rather focus on copying the pronunciation and the fluency of the speaker, a pronunciation and a speed of the speaker. This way you'll be able to get your desired score soon. So in the next video, I'll show you how I did read aloud in this particular experiment and what are the things you can learn from that, so that in your next test, you don't make the mistakes that others are making because of the lack of knowledge.